She was 7 months pregnant, yet the loneliest person in the room. Everyone saw her growing belly, no one saw her breaking heart. Each night, she held her stomach and whispered words no one else wanted to hear. She was creating a life while slowly losing her own. Pregnancy should be filled with love, hers was filled with loneliness. This is the story no one tells, but every woman feels. The morning sun filtered softly through the thin curtains, but it brought no warmth to Aisha's heart. She sat on the edge of the bed, one hand resting on her swollen belly, the other gripping the bedsheet as if it were the only thing keeping her steady. 7 months pregnant. 7 months of silent strength. 7 months of learning how heavy love can feel when you carry it alone. The room was quiet, except for the distant sound of traffic and the ticking clock on the wall. Each tick felt like a reminder that time was moving forward, whether she was ready or not. Aisha had once dreamed of mornings like this being different. She had imagined laughter, shared breakfasts, a loving hand resting on her belly, and words like, "How are you feeling today?" Instead, she woke up every day to emptiness, not just in the room, but in the way people looked through her, as if she had become invisible the moment she needed them most. Her husband, Salman, had left early for work, as usual. No goodbye, no glance back, not even a reminder to eat properly. When she had first become pregnant, he had smiled and said, "Inshallah, everything will be fine." But smiles fade when responsibility feels heavy. At first, Salman blamed stress. Then money. Then work. Slowly, he stopped blaming anything at all and simply stopped caring. Aisha tried to remember the woman she used to be, confident, hopeful, full of plans. She had been a schoolteacher once, loved by her students, respected by her colleagues. When she married Salman, she left her job because everyone told her, "A good wife stays home." She believed them. She believed love would protect her. But love, she learned, does not always show up when promised. The silence that hurt more than words. Pregnancy changes a woman in ways no book can explain. Your body becomes unfamiliar. Your emotions rise and fall like waves you cannot control. You crave comfort more than anything, not luxury, not gifts, just understanding. Aisha found none of th. When she complained of back pain, Salman said, "Every woman goes through this." When she cried at night, he turned his back. When she asked him to accompany her to the doctor, he replied, "I'm busy." Busy. That word became her enemy. One afternoon, during a routine checkup, the doctor looked at Aisha with concern. "You need rest," she said gently. "Too much stress is not good for the baby." Aisha nodded, forcing a smile. How could she explain that stress was not something she could switch off? It lived with her. It slept beside her. It followed her everywhere. On the way home, she sat in a crowded bus, holding her belly as people pushed past her. No one offered a seat. No one noticed. She wondered when the world had become so blind. At home, her mother-in-law complained about the food. "This curry is too salty," she said. Aisha apologized. No one asked how she was feeling. That night, she lay awake, listening to the sound of Salman scrolling on his phone. She wanted to say something, anything, but fear held her tongue. Fear of being called ungrateful. Fear of being told she complains too much. Fear of becoming a burden. So she stayed silent, and silence slowly broke her. A letter she never sent. One evening, when loneliness felt unbearable, Aisha took out a notebook and began to write. "Dear baby, I don't know what kind of world you will be born into. I don't know if I will be enough for you. But I promise you this, even if I have to be strong for both of us, I will." Tears blurred the ink. "You are the only one who listens to my heartbeat. The only one who never leaves me alone." She pressed her hand against her belly, feeling a soft kick in response. In that moment, she felt something she had not felt in months, purpose. That tiny life inside her was not judging her, not ignoring her, not asking her to be anything other than a mother. She folded the page and tucked it away. No one would ever read it. The breaking point came on a rainy night. Aisha slipped in the kitchen while washing dishes. The pain shot through her body, sharp and terrifying. She screamed. Her mother-in-law shouted from the other room, "What drama is this now?" Salman rushed in, annoyed rather than worried. "What happened?" he asked. "I fell," Aisha whispered, trembling. "Please, I think something's wrong." Instead of holding her, he sighed. "You're always overreacting." That sentence shattered something inside her. At the hospital, the doctor scolded Salman. "She needs care," she said firmly. Both physically and emotionally. Salman remained silent. On the way back home, rain tapping against the car windows, Aisha stared outside and made a decision she had been afraid to make for months. She could not continue like this. Not for herself. Not for her child. Choosing herself for the first time. The next morning, Aisha called her younger sister, Sarah. "I need help," she said, her voice breaking. Within hours, Sarah arrived. For the first time in months, Aisha cried freely, not quietly, not secretly, but openly, like a child who had finally found safety. For the first time in months, Aisha cried freely, not quietly, not secretly, but openly, like a child who had finally found safety. Aisha returned to her parents' home that day. There were whispers. There were judgments. There were people who said, a pregnant woman should adjust. But Aisha had adjusted enough. She focused on her health. She rested. She ate properly. She went for walks in the evening, feeling the breeze on her face, talking to her baby. Slowly, she began to heal. The strength no one saw. Months later, Aisha gave birth to a healthy baby girl. When she held her for the first time, she whispered, "We survived." The baby wrapped her tiny fingers around Aisha's, as if promising never to let go. Life was not suddenly perfect. Money was tight. Nights were sleepless. The future was uncertain. But Aisha felt something powerful, dignity. She returned to teaching part-time. Her students welcomed her with smiles. Her confidence returned, piece by piece. She was no longer waiting for someone to choose her. She had chosen herself. A message for the world. Aisha's story is not rare. There are millions of pregnant women carrying more than a child, carrying neglect, silence, and unspoken pain. Women who smile in public and cry in private. Women who are told to endure instead of being supported. This story is for them. Pregnancy is not weakness. Motherhood is not submission. Silence is not strength. True strength is knowing when to stand up, even when your hands are shaking. And sometimes, the bravest thing a woman can do is say, "I deserve better, for myself and for the life growing inside me." She didn't just give birth to a child that day. She gave birth to herself.